All right, we are recording. Hello, good evening, everybody. This is me, Noa Lakshmi, and presenting today about Saturn and Capricorn. In just a moment, I am going to share my slides. And before I do that, I just want to say that, with Saturn and Capricorn, there's so many different aspects that we can really talk about when it comes to Saturn and Capricorn. And I had one idea before I put the presentation together. And then as I was starting to put the slides together, something completely different came in. And I decided to focus on one different aspect of Saturn and Capricorn than what I have planned or anticipated. So it's very interesting, and I trust that for whatever reason, that's the message that needs to come through today. And I believe it to be very important when it comes to our own individual lives, and how is that going to influence the societal change and the structural change that Saturn and Capricorn actually is going to bring about, or will help to bring into form, especially 2020 when Saturn meets Pluto in Capricorn. So there's just so much to talk about. And I was putting the presentation together. I'm thinking, oh my God, there's just two more presentations that just want to come out just out of this. So I will focus on this one element of Saturn and Capricorn, which I am going to show right now. I'm going to start sharing my screen. And just go into present mode. So just give me 1 second. Wanda, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm just reloading here. Oh, here we go. All right. All right. So Wanda, checking again if you can see the screen.
Yes, we can see everything.
Okay, great. So this is the aspect that I would like to focus on when it comes to Saturn in Capricorn, is getting ready to build the next phase of your life. So we can look at it from a individual perspective, obviously, each and every one of us, and what is that next phase of your life, which is different than my life and your neighbor's life. However, all those lives are connected, and they do come together. And as we build the next phase of our life together, we are building the next phase of our society globally and around the world. So what I'm going to focus on today with the shift of Saturn into Capricorn is what Saturn really represents, what Saturn and Capricorn represents as it related to building the next phase of your life, of our lives. What does Saturn and Capricorn teach us and help us in that building process of the laying down the foundation? And this is what I'm really seeing with Saturn and Capricorn, and something I've been talking about with my clients and friends, and in the videos that I make, is how much we are focused right now on building that foundation. Because if we are looking into moving into the next phase of our lives, whatever it may be, we really need to make sure that the foundation that we are building for that next phase is stable. It's definitely like building a new structure, or adding, let's say you already have a structure and now you decide to remodel, you want to add a floor, or you want to add a section to your structure. You need to make sure that the foundation, first and foremost, is stable enough, solid enough, and strong enough to sustain the this next phase, this next, the additional section perhaps that you are adding onto your life, onto the structure of your life. And Saturn in this year, and I talked about that when I did Jupiter in Scorpio, it's so not a coincidence that we are having Saturn now for at least the first year of Saturn in Capricorn, traveling around in the cosmos with Jupiter that is in Scorpio, and Saturn in Capricorn, Jupiter in Scorpio. To me, it's the perfect recipe for self-mastery, really. And all the time and the dedication and everything that we invest into mastering something, whatever it may be, internally and externally. And I'll be talking about that quite a bit today, the element of dedication, discipline versus dedication, whatever it takes to build the next phase of your life. And my intention is to inspire you in whatever it is that you are envisioning for yourself for the year to come and the next few years to come, and asking yourself, maybe you already have the clarity, maybe you're still in the question mark zone, because the energies right now are very interesting. It's like we have clarity, however, there's some question marks around it. So hopefully this presentation can help you, those that are here now and those that are watching later, to get inspired, and more than just to get inspired, to really take the action. And Saturn in Capricorn, that's the thing, is that it helps us and teaches us to take the action. Sometimes the lesson is not so pleasant, but it really is worth it. So Saturn is in Capricorn 2018 to 2020. The exact dates, December 19th of 2017. So it's actually the end of 2017 is when Capricorn went into, Saturn went into Capricorn, and it's going to be in Capricorn until March 21st of 2020. So that is about 2.5 years, is a significant time. Saturn spends 2.5 years, about 2.5 years in each sign. And now Saturn is in his home sign. Saturn is at home, which is very, very significant. Saturn is, every planet in its home sign is just more powerful. Just think about yourself. Where do you feel the most comfortable, right? At your own home. It's like, oh, I can take my shoes off. I feel at home. I feel comfortable here. You feel more in your skin. I'm myself. And so I see a planet in its home sign in the same way. It's like, oh, I can just kick back and do my thing. Saturn in Sagittarius was anticipating and just waiting to get home after the search. But what is true? Where do I want to go? Where am I pointing my arrow? And now when Saturn is at home, there is that feeling of, okay, I'm more settled after all this searching around, and what is my truth, and really expanding and growing as Saturn moves through Sagittarius. And now things are coming into a more settled place. There might be a feeling of heaviness with Saturn in Capricorn. However, it doesn't have to be heavy. It's, yeah, there's more seriousness to it. Saturn is all about business and taking care of business, and it's being a grown up, but in a very strong way, and in a way that helps us to feel more settled, to feel more at home. And we're going to continue to experience that more and more, especially when Jupiter moves into Sagittarius, and then Jupiter is going to be in its own home sign. So we have two very significant big planets in their home sign traveling together for the entire year of 2019. Both Saturn and Jupiter are going to be in the same sign, home sign. And that's when at the end of 2018, the nodes are also shifting into Cancer and Capricorn. Cancer, North Node in Cancer, home. So it's this coming home. And I believe, I could, from my own experience, and again, talking to people, there is that feeling of starting to feel like I'm coming home. I'm just coming home and things are more familiar. I'm more familiar with myself. We are coming back to our own true divine nature. That's what I mean by home. We are all been in this search of what is truth and what is my true home, and finding home within oneself, within one's own soul. And then Saturn comes into Capricorn and helps us to bring into form what lives in our heart and in our soul, and letting go of old traditions and old structures that don't really suit us any longer. So that's one aspect of Saturn and Capricorn. I'm not going to get too much into it with structures and traditions, maybe touch on it a little bit, because I just want to stay focused on the element of building the new phase of your life and moving forward. Now, this one chart that I wanted to share here, I usually do my presentations, I do a lot of charts. And like, again, that was my plan. But when I was putting the presentation together, something different came through. So I only have a few charts that I want to show, and then talk about my take, my perspective on Saturn and Capricorn, and how that can help us and help you in your own individual lives, and together as a collective, to bring into form the new phase of the structure. So this is the chart when Saturn moved into Capricorn. So I'm going to take you back about a month ago, December 19th of 2017. And the reason I'm showing this chart is just, I believe, in astrology, when something happens, it's not just that significant event of Saturn moving into Capricorn. It's like, okay, great, but what else was going on around it? It's like, we have a big party. What were the other participants doing during the party that are going to influence what's to come? So it's not just the main event of Saturn moving into Capricorn. And there's so much more, again, that I can go into, and that it happened right a couple of days before the solstice, and the sun met Saturn just a couple of days after Saturn went into Capricorn. So there's a lot to dig into, which I'm not going to do right here, right now. But to show this chart and the themes that I'm going to speak about today, when it comes to our determination and our passion and our dreams and moving forward and building, then it's very interesting for me to see here that on that day, the moon was in Capricorn as well. And not only that the moon was in Capricorn, the moon was conjuncting Pluto in Capricorn. That is very, very significant. That's a lot of Capricorn power, which to me means the focus on the foundation and the stability of the foundation. And then from that stable foundation is looking at the peak of the mountain, which is the mountain that I want to climb. I see Capricorn as the mountain goat, and the powerful mountain goat that can actually move towards his or her goals and achievements, and taking the necessary steps in order to do that. And that's the kind of self-mastery that Capricorn, Saturn offer us. So very, very interesting that the moon and Pluto was conjuncting that day as well in the sign of Capricorn. With Pluto, a lot of transformative power that comes, and meeting the moon. That wasn't the most comfortable conjunction, to say the least. The moon is a complete opposite of Capricorn, as we know, and it's our sensitivities and what can be our insecurities, or where we feel maybe shy or inward, and again, sensitive, insecure. And Capricorn asks us, and sometimes demands of us, to just let go of that, transform and change, let it die. Let whatever insecurities, whatever emotions and sensitivities that are not good for the foundation of your life, It's time to let it go. It's time to transform that and come out on the other side as that mountain goat that can really climb up and have confidence in itself that it can do that, that it can actually accomplish the task. So we had that conjunction at that same day. And then of course Mars in Scorpio, which I'm going to show some more in the next slides that I have, the element of passion, and very powerful passion, Mars in Scorpio, and the kind of determination that we need in order to climb up that mountain. And Mars in Scorpio to me is tremendous amount of determination. The combination of Scorpio and Capricorn is a combination that can help us to move mountains, not just to climb the mountain, but to move mountains. So that chart, it represents to me much of what Saturn and Capricorn on an individual level brings to us in this time period that Saturn is going to spend in Capricorn. So a few keywords, I guess, that we can say associated with Saturn. And like I said, we can take all these words, all these keywords, themes, and every single one of them can be a whole presentation on its own. So if we look at tradition, organization, career, responsibility, discipline, protection, boundaries, wisdom, productivity, and timing, we associate Saturn as the Lord of karma and master of time. And what does it all mean? And I like to, with karma especially, I like to demystify the whole idea of karma and what it is. And the way I like to say is, if you want to change your karma, we hear a lot in the spiritual community, karma, it's my karma, and I'm stuck in a karmic cycle. Or to me, and of course we can go deeper into it, and it's more complex than just what I'm about to say right now. But at the end of the day, it's also very simple. And I like to say to people, I like to say to my clients, you want to change your karma, just make a different choice. Just make a different choice. That no matter what happened in the past, no matter how many times you've experienced the same thing, you've repeated the same pattern, what seems to be your karma, no matter how much your parents kept repeating the same thing, and your grandparents and your ancestors and whatever we see as karma, it's a lineage thing, right? You just need to make a different choice. Saturn in Capricorn is going to be that one to show you that new choice and to hold you accountable and responsible. Responsibility we see here, accountable and responsible to make that new choice. So whatever it is that you might experience yourself right now in your life, man, this is just my karma. If it's relationships, if it's money, like that's a huge one right now. And it's going to continue to be a pretty big one with Jupiter and Scorpio and other people's monies and ties and relationships. And if it's career, if it's your job, if it's your health, oh, it's just my karma. Saturn says it's not. It's you have that responsibility to make a different choice. And by making that different choice, we break that karma. And to me, that's how we create our future. If Saturn is the master of time, if we look at time from a more esoteric perspective, there's really no such thing as past, present, and future. And I always see it in the astrological chart, especially in a birth chart of somebody. To me, it's a combination of past, present, and future, because we can see in the chart, we can see the past. In the present moment, right here, right now, we actually have the ability to change the past. How? By doing healing, by healing ourselves, by really bringing awareness into all of our unconscious patterns. To me, that's one of the most significant usage of astrology, to bring that self-awareness, to see what's actually happening underneath the surface. What is the soul saying? What is the soul experiencing? What are the imprints from the past that are still playing in the present? So yes, the past, so to speak, happened in the past, but if it's still playing in the present, can we really separate the past from the present? So we have the power, and that's our responsibility. We have the power in the present moment to actually change the past, just by recognizing and acknowledging the past and the marks that the past has left. And by doing that, by bringing awareness, by bringing consciousness into the unconscious, we have the ability to make a new choice. And that new choice, or those new choices, are shaping our future. So you can see that as karma. What changes the karma? It's the choice in the present moment to do something different, no matter how tempting the past may be. And that's karma, right? Karma can be very tempting. I'm always sucked back into it. It's like the south node. Come and do this again. I feel comfortable here. But then the north node is saying, and that's just in general, no, this is your destiny. And here right now, you have the opportunity to move towards that desirable future. Okay. And that Saturn, it teaches us, and will continue to teach us, responsibility, the responsibility of self and accountability. It's not on the list here, and integrity. So I'm going to focus here on discipline aspect and the wisdom also, and the kind of productivity that we can utilize in our own lives when it comes to making those choices and how to move forward. So I just saw that image of just looking for some images, and I found this image, and to me, it's so, what a grand representation of the mountain goat that I was talking about. So this is not a mountain goat, this is an actual person. But it's so, looking at the sunset, I'm assuming it's a sunset, it might be a sunrise, but just looking at the sun there in the background, and the person that is so focused and dedicated on this one specific task. Saturn, and especially Saturn in Capricorn, is the ultimate task master. Okay. And with Jupiter also moving through Scorpio this year. So I've been talking a lot about the aspect of self-mastery, and we all have something in our lives that we've been focusing on and dedicating our lives to, time, energy, and love. In the past decade, I would say as far as 10 years ago. And this year, a lot of it is coming to a crescendo, to kind of a peak, with Saturn coming into Capricorn. So this year, and the time that Saturn is moving through Capricorn is really the time to own your skills even more so, and master whatever it is in your life that you find yourself now in a place saying, I'm ready to master this. And like I said earlier, internally and externally, but on the inner level, and I can say example from my life. 10 years ago is when I was introduced to a lot of those esoteric teachings and the holographic universe and the power of our mind and meditation and intention, and how much we can actually create and shape our reality. And I'm finding myself, and after some life experiences that I've had in the last few months, where I am now being asked to master that, to really hone these skills, my mental capacities, the power of my mind, my intention. And that's just one thing. There's several things in my life that I'm very much aware it's time for mastery, but that is a very significant thing for me. So I'm sharing this and perhaps inspiring you to direct that question towards yourself and asking yourself, well, what can I master? What do I want to master? What is being called of me to master this year? And then the more important question after that is, what do I need to do? So that's Saturn in Capricorn. It can just stay in the ethers. It can just stay in the visionary Sagittarius place, because Saturn moved through Sagittarius, and that we envisioned. We pulled the arrow, and where are we pointing towards? And now Saturn in Capricorn, it's like, boom, we've released that arrow, and we have to have a target, and we have to be very focused, and we have to be very determined, and we have to be very diligent. All those things that Saturn in Capricorn is a teacher for. So, what do I need to do in order to master it? What is it going to take? What is it going to take? And can I find, and I'm going to talk about discipline and dedication. Can I find that discipline and dedication to do that? And I really like to see it more like we can take discipline, dedication, and then I like to move it into devotion. And I see Saturn in Capricorn, and it's the more evolved, perhaps, aspect of Saturn in Capricorn, moving from discipline to devotion. To me, it's also less masculine, more feminine, but yes, yet still very fierce and very invested. You know, there's something in the word devotion that sparks something for me that is beyond discipline. It's more from the heart. Discipline can feel rigid. I know a lot of people have an aversion toward the word discipline. But we can see in this photo, like this person, this is not just discipline. There's devotion here, to the task, to everything around him or her, devotion to oneself, devotion to the task, and whatever it is in your life that you feel that level of devotion, that now is the time to really take it to the next level. So I have a few slides here just with the word discipline, and as I said just a bit ago, we have discipline, dedication, and then we go to the next level of devotion. And I see it as an evolutionary process when it drops from the mental. I feel discipline is a very mental thing, which is, we need that. It's not a bad thing whatsoever. As this slide saying, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. Absolutely. So discipline is it's a stepping stone. It's the foundation. I was talking about foundation and how important it is. Discipline is part of our foundation. Whatever it is in your life that, okay, this is the new phase that I'm building. Perhaps, or let's say most likely, if it's something completely new, you will need discipline at first. If it's a few examples, a new meditation practice, okay, you will need discipline to keep it a daily practice. Like, I practice Kundalini yoga. I every single morning, people say, oh, it's discipline. It started as discipline. When I started practicing yoga years ago, it started as discipline. It was more of a mental thing. And then it moves from discipline, like I said, to dedication. And we start to embody more. It's not just a mental thing. Oh, I've got to do the yoga practice. I've got to do the meditation practice. I want to eat healthier. And then there's discipline involved in that, and not eating certain things and start changing habits. anything to do with changing habits, right? Relationship dynamics, anything you can think about. When it's a new habit, it's a new pattern, especially I was talking about karma, and when there's strong influences involved, first step, discipline. Okay, it's a very mental thing. I know this is not the best for me, and I know what I need to do to improve the situation. I know what I need to add into my life. I know what I need to start doing. Okay, Saturn in Capricorn, all those things are very much highlighted right now. With Jupiter in Scorpio and Saturn in Capricorn, there's absolutely nowhere to hide. You can run, but you cannot hide from the truth looking in your face and saying, this is what you need to do right now in your life if you really want to move forward, if you want to get out of this karma, so to speak, right? Jupiter in Scorpio is like piercing truth, like it or not. And then Saturn in Capricorn is saying, like it or not. So those two are working together as a team, and they complement each other. You got earth and water, the sextile, maybe not exact degrees, but I find now Jupiter and Saturn working together. Here's the truth, like it or not, now go ahead and do it. And oh my God, what you're going to experience on the other side is so much more magnificent. So going back to discipline, I can go sometimes on some tangents here. Discipline, that's the first step. That's the bridge, right? Point A to point B. We look at discipline, and then I absolutely love this this quote. I actually have it in my book. Discipline is just choosing between what you want now and what you want most. And when I found this quote, I read it several times, over and over and over again. And every once in a while, I go back and I read it. To me, it says it all. What we classify as discipline. In that moment, I was talking about just make a different choice, right? That is that moment of choice, of choosing. When you find yourself in a place of, okay, I have a choice, A or B, and you very much know, and here's the responsibility for oneself and one's own choices. I know that if I choose A, I know that I want to go north. But if I'm choosing to go south, I'm not going to get north. It's the same thing. That even though, oh my God, whatever is down south, that's what I'm craving right now. It's just, I want it now. But I'm really heading north. Like that's really what I want the most, even though the gratification of the moment can seem like going south is a good idea. So that's the bridge, that kind of discipline. And another thing with Saturn and Capricorn is it relates to this. Saturn and Capricorn is the complete opposite of instant gratification, the complete, which is very interesting because our society is built upon that. And our society conditions us and continues to condition us and younger generation for instant gratification. And if you think about how we live, even this, we can actually sit here in this computer, you have information streaming to you just like that. You don't need to wait for a letter to get in the mail. You don't need to wait for me to come and see you in person and tell you all this. And this is just a small example, but we live in such a fast-paced society, and there's amazing things that come with us, absolutely, such as this meeting and so many other things that we get to enjoy. And at the same time, we are conditioned to have this instant gratification. And sometimes that is a huge obstacle when it comes to really having that willpower, you can say, or that dedication and devotion or discipline to really keep on going, even though in the moment it's like, oh, but I'm not getting what I want. Well, but what do you really want? And Saturn in Capricorn is a tremendous amount of patience, but it's not patience with like, oh, I'm looking at the clock. When is it going to come? It's just devotion. Again, going back to that, I am devoted because I'm choosing between what I want now and what I want most. And even though in the moment something can feel very gratifying, if I know that this is not what I want the most, then is it worth it? Saturn in Capricorn just asks that question. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? And whatever the task, whatever the goal for yourself, whatever the mastery that you are looking at in your life, then you need to find, well, where do I need more discipline, just to start with. And maybe you are in a phase in your life where you've had the discipline for quite some time in whatever area of your life. And you can notice that actually it's not even discipline anymore. It has moved into devotion. It has moved into devotion. And it can be anything, even for me, for example, I can just speak for myself and my own life experience and examples. Exercising, right? Like moving my body. To me, it's not even discipline anymore. It is devotion. It's the kind of devotion that I have developed. And again, it started as discipline, but through the years, recognizing it has evolved into this level of devotion that I have for my body, for my health, for my well-being. And it really is, to me, I see it as devotion to life and devotion to God and to Mother Earth, because our bodies and who we are just an extension of Mother Earth and extension of spirit at the same time. And when I am in devotion to my well-being in that way, ultimately I am in devotion to spirit and to Mother Earth simultaneously. So I just wanted to insert that one in, and for you to look at your own life, what has evolved from discipline to devotion, what perhaps can evolve from discipline to devotion when we take things from mind discipline oriented kind of way to a more of a feminine devotional way of living and being. So devotion and dedication. So I use the word dedicate, and I wanted to put this slide on here with the I dedicate, not just dedication, and for you to fill in the blank. I dedicate myself to. And Saturn in Capricorn is very dedicated. Is very devoted. It has the patience. It doesn't look for instant gratification. It always strives to do the right thing for oneself and for others. It's and knowing that doing the right thing for oneself is ultimately in service to others as well. Saturn in Capricorn is very much in service, and it's not afraid to work hard, but it's a labor of love. So when we mix that level of dedication with devotion, the hard work of Saturn and Capricorn it does become a labor of love, and the effort is it takes a whole other meaning. So, when I was searching through Saturn and Capricorn, and I was just like reading and doing my research, and we really associate hard work. Everywhere I looked, like Capricorn, and especially Saturn and Capricorn, hard work, hard work, hard work. And it's just like those words. And again, it is. I'm not saying it's not. However, I believe as we evolve more and more, and astrology evolves as our consciousness evolves, and how we change the way we perceive the planets and the signs and all those associations. When in our society, again, through conditioning, we associate this heaviness with like, oh, it's hard work and no pain, no gain. And that's a very patriarchal, masculine approach to moving towards your goals. And hey, a lot of people actually give up, or they feel defeated or deflated, or they think they don't have enough strength or capabilities to continue on the path of their dreams and their goals, because it's such a drag when you keep hearing as a child, and then you grow up, it's like, it's hard work and no pain, no gain. It's like, God, I don't want to do that. So it's important to me to actually bring a new energy into Saturn and Capricorn, and not to say, oh, you're just going to kick back and have margaritas at the beach. No, not at all. The work will be there. The efforts will be there. Again, we can just envision our way into our future and into the peak of the mountain. It's like, if I'm sitting at the base of the mountain and I look up, I'm like, I want to be up there because it just looks cool, or even halfway, whatever. I can't just keep sitting there and like, oh, wow, that really sounds like a great idea. No, it's going to take the effort, to pack my bag, think about everything that I need, and then actually start climbing. And man, there's effort, there's sweat, maybe tears, maybe some blood. But what I'm saying here is that I would like to extract the heaviness, perhaps, and the just the gloomy energy around, oh, it's just working hard, no pain, no gain. But actually, it's like, no, there is effort, maybe even discomfort, but you know what? I love it. I love it because I'm dedicated to whatever it is. First and foremost, dedicated to yourself. That's the most important thing. And if you come to that place of, I'm dedicated to myself, then what am I willing to do? And then it's like, whatever, the hard work goes out the window. Because there's such amount of love and devotion that comes with it. And then we can start working with joy, even if it's hard work. We can start bringing a sense of ease even to the effort. And most importantly, we can start working together. And that's another element of Saturn and Capricorn. Again, not going there today, but where we are going to move away from just, I need to do it all alone. Because when you need to do it all alone, then yeah, it's a drag and it's very hard. But we come together and we start working together and building together, and it's a whole different ball game. So when we combine our mutual efforts, and we all in that place of dedication and devotion to a task, to a goal, to a new structure building, whatever it may be, boy, oh boy, like I said, we can move mountain. So Saturn and Capricorn, it's like 2.5 years, boom, boom, boom. We're getting that strength and that ability to build that foundation, to dedicate ourselves to building that foundation, to do whatever it takes, and to cultivate that level and that sense of devotion. Absolutely love this image. 3D, and we associate Saturn, Capricorn with the 3D, right? Saturn is the physical reality, three-dimensional reality. It's not up in the heavens and dreaming like Neptune. 3D, but it's the 3Ds: dream, dedication, determination. And I love that the word dream comes in here, because usually when we talk about Saturn and Capricorn, we don't hear the word dream, right? It's like with Capricorn, it's just taking the action. But those actions, the dedication and the determination that I've been talking about is based on those dreams. And it's, it's interesting that Neptune is in Pisces and will continue to be in Pisces for a few more years. And the whole time that Saturn is in Capricorn, Neptune is in Pisces. So we have the element of the dream, but now it's not just dreaming, it's bringing those dreams into 3D reality, into form. Saturn in Capricorn. What have you been dreaming that now you can dedicate yourself to even more so? Because maybe you have been dedicated to a specific thing in your life, and you can up-level that dedication. You can up-level that determination. Maybe it's a new dream. Maybe it's a new dream, or maybe it's a dream that you pushed in the closet for the last 25 years. And now, oh my God, I actually want to dedicate myself to this. And I am going to be determined, because that is what I really, really, really want. Jupiter in Scorpio. What do you really want? It's like everything is being so amplified. Like I said, you can run, but we can't hide. We just can't hide from that. And I just want to cheer on for Saturn in Capricorn, because it's a huge energy that is helping us to really bring things into form and solidify those dreams, using our dedication and determination. So another very inspirational slides I have today: use your strength, your passion, and your dedication to reach every single one of your goals. And again, when I say goals here, that's something that is very important for me to emphasize, because that can sound very masculine, and that is a very Capricorn thing. Goals. I just see goals in front of me. And as we know, our society, being the patriarchal society and more masculine oriented society that it has been in the last few thousands of years, where the attitude of, oh, I'm just going to do whatever it takes to reach my goal. To me, that's where the shift is actually going to happen. And it starts with every single one of us, that we can start developing a new approach with how we reach towards our goals. It's not the attitude of, I'm just going to do whatever it takes and I'm going to step on whoever I need to step to reach for my goals. Capricorn can be like that. When somebody climbs up the mountain, it's like, I don't see right and left, whatever. But it's not about that. It's knowing that we can have goals, and we can approach our goals from a more feminine, softer place. Feminine, though, doesn't mean less strong, less passionate, and less dedicated, right? So that's the chart that I showed at the beginning when Saturn moved into Capricorn, and that's why I showed that chart with Mars being in Scorpio. Mars, that's our strength and our passion. Mars in Scorpio is definitely strength, passion, dedication, and then complementing and boosting that energy of Saturn and Capricorn as we move towards our goals. And again, those goals can be very simple. It doesn't have to be something extravagant. Maybe it's not something you maybe it's not your dream to build an empire. Fine. Even if it's like the tiniest goal, I don't even see anything as small or big. To me, whatever your goal is, you are a divine soul, and you have your own dreams, and you have your own urges from within yourself. And maybe the goal can just be, you know what? My goal is just to be healthy for right now. Great. Use all of your strength, all of your passion, and all of your dedication to reach that goal of you to be healthy. What do you need to do? What is it going to take? Okay? What is the foundation that is needed for that goal to flourish? And I also see it as That's the soil. That's the foundation for the tree. The roots need to grow into very healthy soil and have very strong roots in order to grow higher and be a very strong, healthy tree. So moving just quickly into this chart of Saturn going retrograde, actually, and I wanted to show that Saturn is going to be in retrograde April 17th. So in about 3 months, and all the way into September 6th. And it's going to go from 9 degrees of Capricorn. We see it right down here. 9 degree of Capricorn all the way into 2 degrees of Capricorn. And as we can see, Saturn is going to go retrograde not far from Mars. Not far at all. At all. And so we have those elements. Again, Mars and Capricorn moving together. It's that passion, it's that determination, it's that willpower. And Mars in Capricorn is so strong. Mars is exalted in Capricorn. Saturn in Capricorn is in home sign, very strong. So utilizing this energy to really move through whatever obstacles you may have, whatever, again, karma that you may be encountering in your life. It is a fuel to break that karmic chain, to make new choices, to strengthen your foundation, and to reach towards your goals. And one of the reasons why I'm showing this is, Saturn, when Saturn goes direct, it's a time for more reflection. And it will be, kind of almost towards the second half of the year, and right before the spring equinox. And it's that time of inner reflection and maybe some changes that you need to make to those foundations, new information that is going to come in from now until that time, in April into the spring. And there will be a sense of renewal right after the equinox. I'm sorry, April 17th, that's a month after the equinox, not a few days before, but that there will be a sense of renewal and a shifting of chapter. And then Saturn is in retrograde for 5 months, reflection and building that inner strength even more so, and really getting that sense of that inner authority. And I'm responsible for my own life and my own choices, and really getting super clear on that peak of the mountain and which one I'm heading towards, and all the choices that I need to make along the way. Strengthening that sense of dedication, devotion, discipline, however you want to relate to it, however word clicks with you the best. And a very significant thing that happens on that same day, not a coincidence, as I like to say, Chiron moves into Aries on the same day that Mr. Saturn goes retrograde. Healing our own selves, and not only that, really healing that whatever sense of passion, whatever sense of willpower, whatever sense of determination that perhaps has been wounded and needs some attention and strengthening. So Chiron is going to be in Aries for 9 years. We'll definitely have plenty of time to work on that. But wanted to show that it's a significant time, a significant day for Saturn to go retrograde, and Chiron moves into Aries that same day. And the combination and the mix of those energies of our passions and our determination is as we move forward towards building this new phase. So wanted to finish with a couple slides here, and we can open up to questions if anybody has a question, to inspire all of us. As I was talking earlier about, you want to change your karma, just make a different choice. And it can be in any given moment. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. If you remember the slide of discipline, it's just merely to choose between what I want now to what I want most. And this slide, I feel, complements the same theme. And what I like to say and how I see it is, Capricorn comes before Aquarius, right? And now we already dipped into some Aquarian energy, and we can feel that. The sun is in Aquarius, Venus is in Aquarius, Mercury is going to go in Aquarius pretty soon. And the South Node is in Aquarius. So we definitely are in that, swimming in that blend of Capricorn and Aquarius right now. It was a heavy Capricorn for a few weeks. Now we're having a little bit of both. And what I wanted to say with that is Capricorn comes before Aquarius. Aquarius is the future, right? If Capricorn is the mountain goat, building the foundation, looking up towards the peak and climbing that peak is Aquarius to me. It's ascending higher. It's our future. It's, and it's also our collective future. So we have our own individual, whatever the tasks that we are focused on, how much that does it contribute to the collective and to humanity and to the future of humanity, and really seeing the connection. And that's Aquarius too, the interconnectivity between the choices that I make to the collective and the future of the collective and the future of humanity. So this slide is very much this, like, moving from Capricorn to Aquarius. I do something today, right? I use all of my determination and my focus and what is my goal. And I'm going to do something today that my future is going to thank me. My future self is going to thank me. And that's Aquarius, thanking the dedication and the determination of Capricorn, the taskmaster, the self-mastery, and to really move into that future self ascension, as we call it. And that's just another thing to finish with. The sweat, the time, the dedication, it pays off. To me, it's a wonderful Saturn and Capricorn message. We see as Saturn as the harsh teacher sometime, but it really is the one that, it's like the personal trainer. Capricorn, Saturn and Capricorn is straight up your personal trainer in whatever area in life that you need that personal training. And it's that personal trainer that stands there with you and tells you, hey, yes, it takes sweat, it takes time, it takes dedication, but you know what? It pays off. Whatever it is that the future self that you envision for yourself, see for yourself, Saturn in Capricorn will definitely help with that infusion of dedication and determination and everything that you need to sit on that peak of the mountain and say, oh my God, it was so worth it. So worth it. So that's my Saturn and Capricorn, one aspect of Saturn and Capricorn. I really want to emphasize that. I can really just talk for hours about so many aspects, but that's the one that I wanted to focus on today. I feel it's very important. If you want to know more about me, please go to my website, noalakshmi.com. I also have a YouTube channel with bi-weekly videos, new moon, full moon. And that's all I have for you today, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. Can you please click on stop share at the top of the screen?
Yes, I am. My computer is a little slow.
That's okay. And does anyone have any questions? Okay. I did have one quick thought as far as Capricorn, since it's at the beginning of that last quadrant, and since it's a yin energy, reflection. Maybe one of the other things too that take this time to reflect on some of the goals and things that we've been doing, and ask ourselves, are we doing this because this is what we want, or is it because of what we're told we're supposed to want this? And to
Absolutely.
eliminate what's not you, so then you can take that determination and all of that and move it straight towards your goals, because you may be wasting time. It's, you're doing something that's not authentically you because you think you're supposed to be doing it.
Yeah, Wanda, absolutely. Right on the money right there. And Saturn and Capricorn, so it really depends on the person, but Saturn and Capricorn can be the shoulds. Like, oh, I should be doing this. Like, this is what my tradition is telling me I need to do, or my family or society or whatever structure I'm a part of. And a lot of people live in that way of, okay, I should be doing this. And then they wonder how come I don't have the passion and determination to really to do it or pursue it, because it's not my real goal, it's not my real dream. So it's a wonderful point that you brought up, the inner reflection and that time for reflection to really get clear, well, what do I really want? And that's why I say, like, Jupiter in Scorpio, it's such a great complement to that of you the truth will set you free, set us free. Yeah, thank you for adding that.
Okay, last chance. Does anyone have any questions? Okay,
No
if
questions.
I'm going to unmute everyone and please thank Noa for her brilliant presentation here. Uh-oh. Let's see. I think I've got everybody unmuted. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Noa.
Thank you, Noa.
Thank you.
So much to digest. Thank you.
Yeah, drink a glass of water and digest it slowly. Thank you all for being here.
Yes, thank you.
All righty. We will see you all next time.
Okay, have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Wanda.
Thank you, Wanda.